Born into royalty in 624 BC, Siddhartha Gautama, or he who has attained his goals, would later become the founder of Buddhism. In what is modern-day Nepal, Siddhartha was shielded by his father, King Sodoma. His father believed he would either inherit the throne or become the savior of humanity, and so Siddhartha was protected from what most others would consider commonplace. Growing up in seclusion, he eventually became restless. Once he argued his way out of his utopia, he was shocked by what he saw.
Oh my! What is this? Oh my!
She's dying. From then on, Siddhartha wanted to find the cure of this suffering. How could one possibly overcome it? He said goodbye to his wife and son, and then left their home. He wandered around trying to practice meditation with the best teachers he could find, but he did not achieve the goal he sought. After a near-death experience, Buddha found what one could achieve, one that decay and death could never touch.
Nirvana!
So how do you feel about Buddha?
All humans die. Everything suffers. How can we even combat this? What if people are not so quick to accept this? Surely by not just following the Eightfold Path or the Four Noble Truths. What if his teachings don't help? What if no one eats meat according to his beliefs and the world is overpopulated by animals?
But he is so helpful. Buddha acknowledges human suffering, but proclaims the way of salvation. He is a peaceful man who craves balance rather than extremism. His teachings may even influence other faiths, from literature to philosophy. It could spread all over. From walking village to village, he spread his beliefs all over the world and helped all of humanity with enlightenment.
He was a peaceful leader who sought balance. He cared only about human conduct and provided a way in which people can find enlightenment for themselves. Siddhartha, or Buddha, did not pretend to be a god or believe the gods were speaking through him. He never became angry or impatient or spoke harshly to anyone, not even those who opposed him. He always taught in such a way that everyone could understand. He preached being kind to all creatures. Contrary to popular belief, because he lived in moderation, Buddha was fit, not fat. Buddha taught until his death at age 80. Overall, we believe that Buddha would be a successful leader today because his teachings still remain in use over most of the world.
Born in Austria in the year 1889, Adolf Hitler was the fourth out of 6 children. At the age of 16, Hitler dropped out of school to become a painter. In addition to art, Hitler also showed an interest in German nationalism, rejecting the authority of Austro-Hungary. He traveled to Vienna to enroll in the Viennese Academy of Fine Arts. After he was rejected, he spent 5 years of misery and woe, adopting a view that would later change very little. Jumping ahead to World War I, Hitler applied to serve in the German army and was in a number of significant battles such as the Battle of the Somme, in which he was wounded. Rewarded for his bravery, but angry towards the Treaty of Versailles, Hitler returned to Munich and continued to work for the military as an intelligence officer. Shortly after, while monitoring the activities of the German Workers' Party, Hitler adopted many of the anti-Semitic, nationalist, and anti-Marxist ideas of DAP founder Anton Drexler. Hitler sought to demolish enemy number 1, otherwise known as the Jew, who he believed caused all of Germany's problems. Hitler's period of imprisonment transformed him from an incompetent adventurer into a political tactician who decided that he would never again confront the gun barrels of army and police until they were under his command. Hitler sought to gain power, and during one of the best times, the Great Depression. Because of this, he gained votes from the people who believed their economic existence was threatened. As time went on, he took over positions that gave him more direct control. From Führer of the German state in 1934, he went on to become Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces in 1938, then Commander-in-Chief of the Army, in 1941. Ultimately, he believed that war was his only tool, that his armies would win the war simply by winning battles, and that they would win battles in large part because of their racial and ideological superiority. He came to believe that he could control all but the smallest units at the front. At the end of 1942, for example, during the Battle of Stalingrad, he actually had a street map of the city spread out before him so that he could follow the fighting, block by block. Unfortunately, his biggest enemy was the Allied powers during World War II, because they were a powerful driving force that he could not control. His hoarse voice with humorous, histrionic content dominated audiences by his tone of conviction and his gift for self-dramatization. He concluded that the road to power lay not through force alone, but through the building of a mass movement and the combination of parliamentary strength with extra-parliamentary street terror and intimidation. He distrusted most of his generals. Hitler also shunned serious intellectual effort and was largely ignorant of military affairs and foreign cultures. He had a strong leadership style, striking fear in everyone, and because of this he stood out, but not in a good way, in a dictatorial way. About 11 million people died in the Holocaust, and that is because of Hitler's ideals. He tended to reject any information that did not fit with his, instead relying on his instinct and a belief that the will to win would overcome any obstacle in the end. As a leader, Hitler maintained legitimate power, however he could get it. If he was not identified as a dictator, nor as causing the slaughter of millions, he could have the potential to win the 2016 election.
From then on, Siddhartha wanted to find the cure for this suffering. How could one possibly overcome it? He said goodbye to his wife and son, and then left their home. He wandered around trying to practice meditation with the best of the teachers he could find, but he did not achieve the goal he sought after. A near-death experience, Buddha found that what one could achieve I know. From then on, Siddhartha wanted to find the cure of this suffering. He was a peaceful leader who sought balance.
Jumping ahead to World War I, Hitler applied to serve in the German army and was in a number of significant battles, such as the Battle of the Somme. He was wounded.